A lot of the times men are testing you and you're just not aware of it. And the reason why some guys ghost you all of a sudden is because they tested you. And for one reason or another, you didn't pass the test. Women must know that men are consistently testing things about you that you're not aware of. And if you know how men are testing you, you're able to pass them all, right? Now, a lot of you ladies were like, why do men have to test me? Why do we have to play games? Why mature men don't test? My love, a mature man will test you to see whether or not you're also mature. A mature man will test you to see whether or not you'll tell him the truth. A lot of women act like other women tell the truth. That's why men have to test women. Because unlike you, most women lie. Most women lie about how many guys they've been with. Most women lie about their psychopathic behavior. Most women lie about their flaw. In fact, most people do. So it's important to test people. So it's a game. Why do you think jobs interview people? To test you. So let's bring that same mindset into relationships. So we're going to talk about the 12 tests that men give you that they test your value based on that. Okay, so the first thing that men test is chastity. Chastity is pretty much how much he could trust you not having sex with another man. How faithful are you? Whether or not you're a slut. Now, what's a slut? Well, a slut it's being a hoe is all relative. A hoe can't be a hoe in isolation. A hoe is only relative to other women. So if you banged 100 dudes, but then all of your friends banged 1,000 dudes, you're an angel. But if you bang 3 dudes and everyone around you is virgin, then you're the hoe. You're relatively a hoe, right? So guys want a woman who has a low body count. So if you unfortunately have a reputation of getting around, a guy's gonna find out. A guy's gonna find out all of the secrets. And the truth is, every secret comes out eventually, right? So that's the first thing. And that's why you have to make a strong effort to guard your reputation. You have to guard your reputation with your life. The next thing that men test, and honestly, this is how a man will test you. They'll just try to sleep with you early. That's it. They'll try to sleep with you early. They'll try to see whether or not you're willing to sleep with them. And if you sleep with them, they'll call you a hoe, right? But if you don't sleep with them, they'll be mad, and they'll say, at least she's not this, right? And so that's why it's always good to don't have sex with a guy too early. But when I say too early, it's all relative. What do other women do? Right? If every woman waits to the second date, you go to the third date, right? You want to test that in a guy. The next thing is they are going to test your patience. And so what they'll do, they'll take a very long time to respond to your text and see whether or not you're willing to, looks like a fucking coffin, whether or not you're willing to wait a long time, right? Guys will test you that way. I was talking to a client how a guy's taking a long time to text her. And I'm like, look, man, he's testing you. He's testing to see whether or not you're willing to accept bullshit. And I told her, call him out on it. Say, hey, even though we haven't gone out on a lot of dates, I expect you to respond on time. And if you can't do that, then we could end it. Because a lot of times men test whether or not you have resolve. And so they'll do slightly disrespectful things to see whether or not you're tolerated, right? The next thing is they'll disrespect you to test you. Now, what I mean by that is that a guy will try something that's slightly disrespectful to see how you're going to react, right? They'll cancel a date last minute to see whether or not you're really going to call them out or you're going to say, oh no, I'm sorry, it's okay. They'll take a long time to test you, to text you back to see how you're going to react. They'll pull away or they'll disappear on you. But the point is, they'll do something that requires you to call them out. But the beauty about this is that they'll do something that it's in the gray area, where it's not that disrespectful, but it's no big deal at the same time. You know what I say to that? Fuck that shit, okay? Call them out on them bullshit. If they take a long time to text you back, call them out. Don't allow any disrespect to slide by without you saying a word, and that without you letting them know that you acknowledge it, all right? By the way, we're having 50% off all of our courses. Using the coupon code BLACK. It's about to end at the end of the year. Y'all better do it, all right? And that means coupon code for the bundles and individual courses. So that means the $99 courses are $99, right? You can get 50% off, or get the bundle that it's already a discount on top of the already discounted bundle, right? And you could get 50%, 20% off working with me one-on-one. So that means if you want to call me right now and talk to me because a guy's trying to test you, we'll have a phone call with Father Alex and we could fix him up for you, all right? So the next thing is jealousy, right? A guy would try to make you jealous to see whether or not you're going to respond to that, right? Now, the issue is that everyone does this. Like, everyone in every relationship tries to make their partners jealous. That's normal. I think there's a certain level of healthy provoking of jealousy that every partner has. It's almost like, do you love me? Nothing wrong with that. But when they blatantly flirt in front of other women, when they're blatantly talking a way to make you jealous, or even talking a way to, they talk about their exes like they were fucking the second coming of the Messiah. They do that to see how you're gonna react, right? And for example, like this one girl was always talking about her ex in front of me, like on the first date. And after like 10 minutes, I'm like, yo, like, are you sure you're not over him? She's like, no, I'm over him. She brought him up again. I was like, look, man, I prefer we don't talk about your ex. We're talking about him a little bit too much, and it's our date. You know, I get it. And she kept bringing it up. I was like, you know what? In my mind, I said to myself, I'm not seeing her no more, right? Clearly, she can't catch a hint that I don't want to hear too much about her ex, that you guys just dated, right? So a lot of times, they'll try to get you jealous. And if they do it in a way that's blatant, that's a sign that they're toxic, right? It's okay to do it in a subtle way, right? Because we're humans. We want validation from our lovers. The next thing that they do is they try to test your boundaries, right? So they'll do name calling, slight. This is the toxic ones. A guy who's going to be abusive will start off with little nudges, little pushes, little bitches here and there, right? Just test whether or not you submit to that. Never tolerate anything outside of your name and a pet name. Never tolerate anyone insulting you, insulting any family members. Never tolerate even pushes. None of that shit. Don't tolerate it, because it's usually a test to see whether or not they should continue. That's how abusers manipulate. It's almost like they groom you for abuse. Men will offer to pay all the time, but a lot of the times they're also testing whether or not you're gonna pay eventually. Ladies, guys are not asking you to take them out on a big expensive dinner date. We're asking for something, right? You may not have a lot of money, but if you cook him something or buy him a little this, a little that, that matters. A guy wants to see a woman sometimes do something for them. And I'll be honest with you, it's a red flag when I date a woman and she never offers. It's a humongously red flag. That means that this girl most likely is looking for the fucking princess treatment to feel like a queen, right? I don't know why that looks like a fucking rooster, but she wants to feel like a queen. And those types of women that want a crown, in my opinion, are red flags, right? Because they want to be worshipped. There's nothing wrong with being a queen, but you also got to treat him as a king too, right? You also have to do stuff for him. Then honestly, the things that I like the most is when I'm dating someone and I pay, but she surprises me from time to time with something. That is a good thing. But then I dated one girl that she never paid, ever. And at that time, I was kind of simpy, and I wouldn't say nothing because I was shy, you know? Like, I have a tough time doing that sometimes. But that communicated to me that this girl, you know, like, she expects to be worshipped all the time, right? And if you're dating a guy and he accepts that, then he's a simp. Yeah, he's a simp, right? A guy who's a man's man, a man who has some sense of security in himself, is willing to call you out on that bullshit. The next thing is that they'll agree with everything that you say. This is the smart ones. This is done to let you talk. Strippers? Yeah, I don't mind strippers. They're cool. You strip? Well, you went to Dubai? Nothing wrong with that. What you do? You know? Oh yeah, I dated a girl who was also a stripper. She was cool. How is it with you? They'll act like they're not judgmental so that you could talk and feel comfortable. And once you start saying the shit that you usually don't tell people, they're like, oh, she's that type of person. Okay, let me back off. Let me not take her seriously, right? And so that's why you got to be careful. Just because they're agreeing in front of your face doesn't mean they really are agreeing with you. A smart guy will literally let you talk your ass out and reveal all your dark secrets in the light of what? Of non-judgmentalness. I'm an open person. Of course I wouldn't judge you. They're judging you. Oh yeah, I don't mind. My ex-girlfriend banked the whole football team. I don't mind that. Have you done that? Come on, man. Don't fall for that shit. Oh yeah, it wasn't a football team. It was actually a baseball team. All right, okay. You like the Dominicans. The next one is they'll get you to meet family and friends. By this point, he's just testing to see the dynamic between the family. If you meet his friends and family, that's a great thing. You've done well. You've passed all the other tests. You look like wifey material. Now I want to see what my family thinks of you, right? So that is a good way to, guys do that when you're about to pass a test. The next one is going Dutch. Listen to me, man. If a guy goes Dutch on the first date, that guy's looking for a queen. He's looking for a sugar mama. Never continue unless you live in another country like in Europe. In Europe, people will go Dutch, so it does depend. But in America, a guy that goes Dutch, it's a motherfucking red flag. I am telling you, I know the economy is bad, but if a guy doesn't have enough income to go to pay for your date, that's a red flag. And I hate to say that because, you know, money isn't everything, but listen to me, man. If a man can't pay for a date, he's not ready for a relationship. He got to work on his finances. Every guy knows that if you're going to date a woman, get your finances in check because people are not free. You have to pay. Like you got to take them out on dates, woo them. If you're broke, it's not going to turn them on. It's going to turn them off. That's just, I'm speaking just reality, right? A guy who doesn't have a good grasp on his finances is a red flag because not being able to control your money, it's a red flag. I don't know what I'm another coughing again. What the fuck? Not being able to control your money, it's a sign of emotional lack of control of your emotions because money has an emotional quality to it. That's why when you're sad, you spend a lot. When you're actually in control, you spend less. So that it's a reflection of his emotional state. A man with a lot of debt, it's a red flag. It's not the fact that you're in debt. It's a reflection of your rationality. How you handle money is pretty much how rational you are. The next thing, asking about your support system. Asking about your support system, a lot of times manipulators do that to see whether or not you have somebody to help you. If they sense that you're isolated, then they'll start to do the next strategy that I'm gonna show you. But they first want to see, is she vulnerable or not? It's like PDF files, right? You know, the people who Chris Hansen type of shit. A lot of times they go after kids without dads. Because if a kid has a dad and he finds out that you've done something, that dad will fuck you up. Like legit, that's the only time I'll kill someone. Like if I found out that someone did anything to someone that I know, that's the only time when I'm legit like willing to go Jason mode. So men will find out, do you have a dad? Do you have cousins? Do you have brothers? Do you have somebody that can fuck me up, right? Do you have rational people who speak rationally to you? Your friends that say, oh, he toxic, oh, he dusty. Do you have other points of views in your life? Because if you don't, then I'm gonna pounce on you with the next strategy, which is love bombing people. What a man would try to do is love bomb you. If he knows that you don't have a good support system, then you're a perfect candidate to be love bombed, people, right? You are a perfect candidate because you lack emotional support. So a love bomb to someone who's isolated, someone who doesn't feel like they have any support systems, it'll work like nothing else, right? And so when you get love bombed, you'll notice that he giving you a lot of attention because what they're really testing out is for weakness. Only weak emotional people fall for love bombing. And I don't say that in a condescending way. You know how some women say, oh, who hurt you? I'm not saying that in a condescending way, but because we all lack intimacy. And when somebody love bombs us, it feels nice. I think it's a very normal thing. But the problem is that people use that to blind you from manipulation, right? They get you high on validation so that you could ignore the manipulations. And last but not least, selfish lovers. He'll be selfish in bed with you to see how you're going to react. He'll let you do all the work, but won't do nothing to see whether or not you're that type of person, right? Some guys do that to test how submissive you are. Some guys do that to test whether or not he could be selfish with you, because what they are is selfish lovers. They want to get but not receive, right? And that's actually true. I'll be honest with you, sometimes I could be a selfish lover. Like I say that from experience, I'm a flawed person, right? So those are my flaws, but what I've seen is that when a woman puts me in my place, I'm like, all right, fuck it, I tried, but you got to call them out. Me, I'm the type of person, if you call me out, then I'm like, okay, you got me. All right, I was trying to do some bullshit, right? But when a woman doesn't call me out on being a selfish lover, I swear to God, I do lose respect. I'm not even lying to you, right? It's, I'm using myself as an example because, that's, a lot of people are not honest enough about this type of stuff. But over time, when women put me in my place, I actually start behaving more. And that's why I prefer to date a strong woman, right? For me, at least, because I don't want a woman who lets me get away with these type of things. I respect a woman who doesn't let me get away with it. I'm like, okay, this woman is on my footing, right? I know it's toxic, but look at you, dude. We're all human beings, man. And this is it, people. So they test your chastity, your patience. They disrespect you. They test your jealousy. They name call you. They will offer to pay to see whether or not you're ever going to pay, right? They're almost testing your selfishness. In fact, honestly, another thing, see how you are with kids or even animals. They're testing how motherly you are. A man who wants a family, this is important. You can't be going Bronx mode and expect to give this vibe off. It's important to give off a motherly trait consistently. Out of all the stereotypes we could take on for a woman, the best stereotype is the motherly look. Because only healthy men would like that, right? So remember, they'll get you to meet the family and friends to see if you're going to crash out. They'll go Dutch to see if they could, be cheap with you. They'll ask you, they'll see whether or not you have emotional support. They'll love bomb you. They'll be selfish lover, and they'll see how you are with kids or even animals, right? Like a woman who's not good with animals or kids, if I hang around with you and kids keep crying in your presence, first of all, you might be ugly because kids don't kids cry when they see ugly things. And two, there's an energy about you, man. You got to be good with some animals, right? Be nice to dogs or something like that, right? Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget, we're almost done. We're almost done to get 50% off all of our courses. Use the coupon code BLACK. You guys can get the course, The Feminine Woman. It's a self-help course for women. Natural Chemistry is for women who are in relationships and want to strengthen it. The Psychological Game of Attraction, it's a course for women who are single and want to go from single to dating. Emotional Mastery, which is a course on how to master your emotion. And above all, Charisma Blueprint. It's a course that I created to increase your charisma. You could purchase them all in a bundle at a discounted rate and then use the coupon code BLACK to get 50% off, or purchase them individually using 50% off coupon code. Anyway, take care. Bye-bye.